VL3100. It is an automated lensometer. This machine is new technology using Visionic's wavefront technology to map and read lenses in 3 different formats. It will do automated lensometry like any standard automated lensometer will do, measuring power, measuring prism, PDs. The second mode on this machine is the frame analysis mode, which is an auto lens type recognition. It does automated measurement of pupillary distance, fast and objective sphere, cylinder, and axis measurements. It's a one-step automatic addition measurement, and it's accurate objective measurement of unknown frame. It's a schematic representation outlining the direction of the progressive corridor. It's easy to use even for unskilled workers. The third mode of the machine is the progressive lens analyzer. What this is a mapping mode, and it gives it the ability to check the lens design, the length, the width of the progressive channel. It visualizes the spherical aberrations, visualizes and highlights attributes of the lens to the customer. It's a great way to show the customer what their lens looks like. It's also a great dispensing tool. It allows you to upsell to more premium progressives. As I discussed earlier, there are 3 modes to this machine. Over here we have lens meter mode, which is a standard automated lens meter. The second mode we have is the frame analysis mode. It's this button here. The third button is the progressive lens analyzer, and that is the bottom one here. There are 2 plates with this machine. The first plate looks like this, has a nub on it, and that is for lensometry only. So when you put that plate in place, you can hit the first button if you'd like, or wait, and it will actually recognize the first plate and tell you that you're now in lens meter mode. Works like all other lens meters. You have a lens holder that locks in place, in and out of place. Back here you have ink tablets for marking lenses. We have a bridge support here for identifying the left to right eye and also PD. And then of course we have a tray that moves in and out here using the handle on the right. You have some choices here. This button here will allow you to turn the automatic progressive identifier on or off. When it's off, you have to manually tell it to go to progressive lens. When it's on, it should identify it automatically. There, it identified it as a progressive. I mark the top using the crosshairs, slide it down into the channel. Once I get to the spot, it'll hold it and it'll identify it. Now I can slide my bridge support to the other eye, doing the same thing without moving the tray. Mark the center, bring it down the channel, and it will identify that eye. Then you can reach up here to the bottom far right button, hit print, and it will then print it out like any other automated lens meter. Then you can either slide this over to clear it out, or you can hit the eraser button and it will clear it out. Once you've done your measurements, it will tell you in these spots here, it will tell you your horizontal and vertical prism for each eye. Now that we've done the automated lensometry mode, let's shift it now to the frame analysis mode. It's done very simply. We just take everything back to its regular positions. We're going to push on this flat plate, push it in, lift up, take the plate out. We're going to put the wavefront plate in, which is just a flat glass plate. Now it's important that you look at it and make sure there's no dust or particles on it. It should be kept clean at all times. Just going to slide it into place. It locks in place once it's in there. As soon as you put it in, it then automatically identifies that you're going into the front frame analysis mode. Now what this does, it's actually great for a lot of different reasons. The automated lensometry mode is good for final inspection. It's good for working in labs and things like that because it's a very detailed lensometry mode. This here is a very quick and easy way to do a quick check of the prescription of the glasses. It can be used by anybody in the office. It takes about 2 minutes to teach somebody how to use this mode. And it's great for new people that haven't been trained in lensometry. It's great for anybody that wants to be a part of what's going on and wants to quick and easily take a measurement. It's also great to be kept at the front desk or the front counter where a quick reading of the glasses can be done, put into the chart, and it saves a step later on in the process. You bring up the frame tray, And you'll notice right here there's a notch, and over here there's a notch. Now inside those is the marks where we want to be. There's also a notch right here in the middle of the lens tray, frame tray. So we're going to bring it up. It actually stops. We're going to take it past the stop. Now we're inside our move here. So when I put it to this mark over here, it's going to identify it as the right eye. When I slide it over here, it's going to then identify it as the left eye. So if I slide it over here, I'm ready to put my frame in. Now, there's one other notch on here that's important, and that's this little notch that's right here on the tray. That helps to identify the center of the lens in the distance prescription. So when I put my frame in here, when I look at my glasses, the distance prescription's on the top. So I want to put that mark somewhere around the center of the top half of this frame, which typically comes around where the temple comes in. So basically, we just lay this in here. It actually stabilizes on these two pads back here. And then we bring this forward so that it locks it in place. You don't want to shove it because then you're liable to bend the bridge and get yourself out of alignment. So we just want it to be snug and secure where it's actually holding the lens in place. Make sure that this notch is in the center of the top half of the glasses. All right, and once we're there, all we have to do then is push this button and it will then take a reading of the glasses. And there we go. That's how simple and easy it is to take a reading. I'm going to then put my finger on the side, slide it over until it stops, hit the button again. And we now have the complete prescription read. At this point, you can remove the glasses, you can hit print, you can hit erase, whatever you want to do. So if we hit print, it's going to print it out, again, just like any other automated lens meter would. Now what this shows us on the screen, it shows us that the right PD was 32, the left PD was 33, the binocular PD is 65, prescription on the right with the sphere, cylinder, axis, and add, and on the left, sphere, cylinder, axis, and add. Now, if there were prism in these glasses, there would again be additional markings here that show the total prism defect in the lenses. You'll notice on this picture here, there's a frame. The frame is just really there to identify the positioning of the glasses. It's the same frame no matter what pair of glasses you put in. But it shows you the center, optical center rings. It shows you the add centers. It shows you where the channel runs. And basically there's different colorations here, and those are a color wheel that basically shows different powers. So again, it's a very quick and easy way to read glasses. Let me just show you one time in full speed if I was going to read a pair of glasses. And print. So you can see how quick that is and how easy it is to do. That is the wavefront frame analysis mode. Now that we've learned how to use the wavefront frame analysis mode, let's switch it now to the third mode, which is the progressive lens analyzer. It uses the same plate as the frame analysis mode. Again, when you're in lensometry mode, you use the plate with the nub on it. When you're in the wavefront mode, you must use the wavefront plate. If you try to switch without the right plate, it'll tell you that you need to put the proper plate in. When we want to go from frame analysis mode to progressive lens analyzer, all we then do is hit the third button, which it will then switch to that mode. You need to wait until it tells you it's ready before you slide the frame tray in place, otherwise it will throw off its calibrations. Now it's ready at this point to do. The progressive lens analyzer is probably my favorite part of this machine. The thing I like about it the most is it really gives you a true image of what's going on with the glasses. There's a lot of times where a patient will complain about a pair of glasses. They don't know what's wrong. The doctor can't figure out what's wrong. The lab says everything's made right. And when it comes down to it, there's a tiny flaw in that lens that's actually in the patient's vision and it's bothering them. This machine will show you where those areas and where those flaws are. I think this is probably one of the best ways. It is the best way to upsell to a premium progressive. You can show a patient, here's what your progressive looks like, here's what a premium progressive would look like, and this is why you need to upgrade to a better lens. It will show them help them to understand how the peripheral distortions work on a progressive lens, because you can actually show them where those peripheral distortions are and show them the amount of distortion that they're getting. Let me show you how that works. We use the machine the same way we did with the frame analysis mode. The only difference is we're not going to take a reading. It's just going to do a live analysis of the lens. So what this is doing is it's actually looking at my lens and telling me what's going on. Now one of the things I like to do is on our channel marks, I like to run this right along the horizontal 180 mark. So let me make a slight adjustment to it so that we get it right where I want it. And there's a couple reasons I like to do that. First of all, it shows me the whole channel, shows me the whole distance too. So basically what we're looking at here is a live wavefront analysis of my progressive lens, which is an Autograph 2 digitally surfaced lens. So what we're looking at here, this area up here is the distance prescription. Then you have your channel that comes down and in, and then you have your nasal distortions and your peripheral inferior distortions. Over here we show a chart. Now what this chart shows is 0 to minus 350, and it's a color chart that matches up with the distortion areas. What you'll notice with this particular lens, which is a premium progressive, the dark purple is 0, which means no distortion. So in the majority of my distance vision, there's no distortions at all. As you come down the channel, there are no distortions in the center portion of the channel. The most distortion I get out of this lens is about a -1, and that's over here. In the central nasal area, I'm only getting about a half to 3/4 diopters of distortion, and it's way over here at the nasal side. My channel is actually quite wide. So if you were to put this up against a inexpensive or non-premium progressive, what you would see is this line here, instead of coming up and going straight out, it would actually come up here, so that you would actually have a very narrow distance and a narrow channel. And it's really nice because you can actually take a reading, save it over here, and then you could put the patient's glasses in and read their lens and show them the difference between the two eyes. So basically what we have here, you can see the difference. If this was a non-premium progressive lens, you can see how distorted it would be, and how the patient would say, well, I see great with this eye, but I don't see very good with this one. And you can show them, well, that's because you've got all this distortion in your periphery, and that's why you're not able to see properly. Basically what this thing does is it gives you a real-time analyzation of the actual lens that they're wearing, and allows you to really have a conversation and educate your patients really well on how to use this portion of the machine. It's great to have in your dispensary. It's great if your opticians want to be able to look at some of their competitors' lenses and compare them to the lenses they're selling. It's great for just really educating your patients and really understanding what kind of lenses they're wearing. We could save a third lens, and then it'll actually give us lens size and all that other information that we can use to help us to identify what's best for this patient. One of the examples that we had at a show was the patient came in with a premium progressive like this one and was complaining that his distance vision was blurry everywhere he looked. The lab couldn't find the problem, the doctor couldn't find the problem, nobody could figure out what the problem was. We put his glasses on this lens analyzer, and right through the center of his distance vision was a red distorted line. And what was causing that was crimping from the drill mounts that he had, and the fact that he was using a polycarbonate lens instead of a heavier, thicker lens that doesn't crimp. So what happened is when they crimped it down, it created a line right through the center of his vision of distortion. When you read it on a lens meter, it didn't pick up that distortion because they weren't reading through the distortion, they were reading below it. So the lab's looking at it saying there's nothing wrong with this lens. The doctor's looking at it telling him this prescription's right on. The glasses are matching the prescription perfectly, but the patient's complaining. This allows the doctor the opportunity to take it one step farther and do a true analyzation of the lens to figure out what the real problem is. Makes the doctor look like a hero, makes the patient happy because somebody solved their problem, and now this machine has kept a patient for you instead of you losing a patient to somebody else who couldn't solve the problem either. So I love this portion of the machine. This is called the Progressive Lens Analyzer, and it is an excellent feature of this machine.